The sun was just peeking over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the water, and I could hardly contain my excitement. Today was the day we had been planning for weeks, a full day of adventure on the lake with my friends. I remember the moment we decided to go. It was a spontaneous idea that started with a simple text in our group chat. Let's hit the lake this weekend. And just like that, we were all in. The thrill of the unknown, the promise of laughter, and the anticipation of splashes and sunburns filled the air as we packed our bags the night before. We met at the dock early in the morning. The air still crisp and fresh. The smell of dew on the grass mingling with the scent of sunscreen. I could see the excitement in everyone's eyes as we unloaded the car. Cooler packed with snacks, towels, and an assortment of floaties that looked like they had come straight out of a carnival. There was Sarah, bouncing on her toes, her curly hair dancing in the breeze, and Jake, who was already trying to convince us that he could outswim a fish. Then there was Mia, who was meticulously checking the supplies, making sure we had everything we needed. Her practical nature balancing out our wild enthusiasm. Once we were on the boat, the engine roared to life, and I felt a rush of adrenaline. The water shimmered like 1,000 diamonds, and as we sped away from the dock, the wind whipped through my hair, and I couldn't help but laugh. We were free, untethered from our everyday lives, just a group of friends chasing the sun and the thrill of the moment. The world behind us faded, and all that mattered was the laughter echoing over the waves. Our first stop was a secluded cove, a hidden gem that Jake had discovered on a previous trip. As we anchored the boat, I could see the excitement bubbling over in everyone. We jumped into the water, the coolness enveloping us like a refreshing embrace. I felt weightless, as if all my worries had been washed away. We splashed and played, diving under the surface, racing each other to the other side of the cove. I remember the moment when Sarah, in a burst of competitive spirit, challenged Jake to a race. The two of them took off like rockets, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the water. After a while, we floated on our backs, staring up at the sky, the clouds drifting lazily by. It was one of those perfect moments where time seemed to stand still. I could hear Mia talking about her plans for the summer, her voice soft and dreamy. Jake was trying to convince us that he could see shapes in the clouds, and Sarah was rolling her eyes, but I could see the smile tugging at her lips. It was a beautiful chaos, a symphony of friendship and joy, and I felt so grateful to be part of it. As the sun climbed higher, we decided to break out the snacks. We gathered on the boat, passing around sandwiches and chips, the laughter continuing to flow as freely as the drinks. I remember the taste of the salty chips, the crunch echoing in the air, and the way we all leaned in closer, sharing stories and teasing each other. It felt like we were in our own little world, a bubble of happiness that nothing could penetrate. Then came the moment we had all been waiting for, the wakeboarding. Jake, ever the thrill-seeker, was the first to strap on the board. He hopped into the water, the sun glinting off his skin, and I could see the determination in his eyes. As the boat pulled away, he was yanked forward, gliding over the water like a pro. We cheered him on, our voices rising above the roar of the engine. He fell a couple of times, but each time he surfaced, he was grinning, ready to try again. Then it was my turn. I felt a mix of excitement and nerves as I strapped on the board. The boat took off, and for a moment, I was terrified. But then I found my balance, and the rush of adrenaline kicked in. I was flying over the water, the wind whipping past me, and I couldn't help but scream with joy. I felt invincible, like I could conquer anything. I fell, of course, but when I surfaced, I was laughing, the thrill of the experience far outweighing the embarrassment of the wipeout. Mia was next, and I could see her determination as she took her turn. She was a natural, gliding effortlessly over the water. And I remember how we all cheered her on, our voices blending into a chorus of encouragement. It was a beautiful sight, watching her embrace the moment, her laughter ringing out like music. As the day wore on, we tried everything, tubing, swimming, and even a little bit of fishing, though we weren't very good at it. We took turns on the floaties, lounging in the sun. And I remember the way the sun felt on my skin, warm and comforting. We shared stories, secrets, and dreams. The kind of conversations that only happen when you're surrounded by friends, and the beauty of nature. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, we gathered on the boat, exhausted but happy. We watched the sun dip below the horizon, the water reflecting the colors like a canvas. In that moment, I realized how lucky we were to have each other, to create memories that would last a lifetime. The laughter, the splashes, the shared moments of joy, they were all woven into the fabric of our friendship. And as we headed back to the dock, the stars began to twinkle above us, a reminder that this day, this adventure, was just one of many. We were a team, a family. And I knew that no matter where life took us, we would always have days like this to look back on, days filled with laughter, love, and the magic of friendship.